Michel, Chef Michel at the Burgundy Lion. I gotta tell you, this is obviously, with a little bit of bias, one of my favorite ones to shoot, for obvious reasons.
Mine too.
Dude, I love you very much. I'm so thrilled to have you involved in this 12 Chefs project that we're doing with Gold Talks. So, Chef, welcome.
Thank you very much. It's a pleasure to be here.
Okay, so Michel, can you tell us a little bit about what we're going to be preparing today?
Absolutely. So today we are going to be preparing our version of a vegetarian tikka masala. So normally tikka masala, national dish of Britain, is made with chicken. We've kind of tweaked it here to do a vegetarian version of the dish with a rice pilaf, and a little bit of raita, some lime, and some coriander. So that's a dish we are going to be preparing today.
And can you explain just quickly, raita is?
Raita is yogurt, cucumber, and we put a little bit of cayenne pepper in ours just to give it a little bit of bite.
Okay.
And mint. Okay. So normally, there's chicken stock. We don't use chicken stock. We use veg stock. Instead of cream, we use coconut milk. I mean, vegetarian, you can still have dairy in it, but it was also just another way because, cream's expensive. Coconut milk isn't so expensive. So it's another way for us in the restaurant, but also at home, to kind of maintain our costs to, especially now, it's, with everything going on with COVID and everything, people's budgets aren't what they used to be.
Right.
A lot of people are on unemployment. So this is a way for us in the restaurant to make it affordable, but also for if you're cooking at home, for those people at home to, it's a nice alternative.
Amazing. Okay, so let's see what we got.
The base of this dish is to do caramelized onions.
Yeah.
So for our onions, just gonna take this and peel it.
Now, do you tear up all the time when you're cutting onions, or is this like, now you're a gangster chef, it just doesn't affect you anymore?
I find that if you don't keep your onions in the fridge, you don't tear up as much. Huh. That's, we keep ours in dry storage.
Tempered, so it's just dry storage.
We, here we do tend, the onion is basically the base of pretty much all of our cooking. So we go through them
so much
that you don't really need to, keep them in the fridge.
Yeah.
But at home, I definitely keep them in the fridge. If not, you're going to have like little flies and everything.
Yeah, not good, not good.
So for the onions, what we're going to do is we're just going to slice them like this.
So as thin as possible because you want them to...
Yeah, now the reason you're doing that is it's just for speed of cooking. The thinner you cut it, the faster it will cook. So I'll put these all together.
Perfect.
So this is going to be the base of our curry.
Okay. Now for a lot of curries, is that actually typically the base? That's the traditional curry?
Again, it depends on the region that you're in India, obviously. Yeah. But yes, onions, garlic, and ginger, I'd say, are the bases for the curries. And then, the different spice depending on the region that you're in. So this is basically how we have them. So here we have them all nice and cut up.
Yep.
Then I would take my pot.
Yeah.
A little bit of oil.
And there you're using an olive oil or vegetable oil?
This is regular vegetable oil.
Perfect.
Yeah. Olive oil tends to
burn?
It has a very low smoking point, which means it burns.
Okay.
Which we don't want for this.
Gotcha.
So then when this heats up, onions go in.
Yeah. And
this gets slow cooked.
So when you're cooking your onion to sort of bring it to the temperature, what temperature is it at a medium burn?
Medium
okay.
Heat, yeah, and you stir. You
Do you continue to add vegetable oil or
nope, that's it.
So that's all you. Okay.
So this is now the base. We let this go.
Okay. Yeah, totally.
So here we already have. You can see these are already caramelized.
Amazing.
So now.
So that's 45 minutes later after you put it on. It's something like this. Now you might do a batch of onion even further so that you can continue to use it.
Which is so what we do for we do use a lot of caramelized onions is we'll do a big batch of them. And I would say, do the same thing at home, is you can do them and freeze them, and then you can take it out as garnish on, whatever. The caramelized onions are delicious.
So a caramelized onion, you can put it in a Ziploc bag after the portions you're not using, freeze it, and then defrost it, and you're good to go.
And you're good to go. But you can do the same thing at home. You can make a larger batch, and again, this is a base. The curry that we're going to make is a base, and then you can add different, when you're heating it up, add different veg, whatever veg is in season. If it's a spring veg or summer veg, you can add, if you do eat meat, you can add chicken. You can add shrimp if you eat seafood. You know what I mean? So you can play around with the recipe. But once you have your base done, you can
Anything
freeze your
goes.
base, and then you can constantly reinvent it. You know, add different things to it for whatever you're, you know,
Perfect.
whatever you would like or the person would like. So now we're going to actually go to making the actual curry. So this, I'm going to have this pot hot. So I'm going to put all the ingredients in here. So we have our caramelized onions,
Okay.
which we cooked from before, garlic, ginger. If you don't like strong garlic flavor, you can either put in less or you can put in a whole clove and then pull it out once the cooking's done. You know,
Gotcha.
again, and that's just a personal thing.
Right.
So we've added the garlic, we've added the ginger. This is turmeric,
Okay.
garam masala, chili powder, coriander.
Now we'll have
Cumin?
the amount. We'll have the amount of how much of each one
Yeah,
of those for the
I'll
recipe.
give you everything for like for the actual recipe for you know, to make this basically this quantity of things. Cook it out a little bit.
And you're not adding anything else because the caramelized onion is basically the liquid that you need to sort of get the mix going.
Yeah, yeah. We will be adding a little bit of liquid when we put in the tomatoes.
With the tomato and the coconut.
Exactly.
So here at the line, are you using a lot of local sourced sort of product? I mean, it's onions and
Absolutely.
onion, but like, you know, just in general.
Absolutely. As much as possible, we work with local producers. Obviously, you know, in Canada during the winter, you're not going to get fresh strawberries from Canada or tomatoes or things like that. But especially in, you know, this, I'd say spring, summer, and fall seasons, we work closely with local suppliers. Same thing with our butcher, you know, who's just over at Atwater. As much as possible, local suppliers. And we've, you know, we've developed relationships. There's one farmer, Annie at Ferme de Lille, who's, you know, I think she's 30 kilometers away from Montreal.
Amazing.
And you can get some of the most amazing product. In the summer, if you have a tomato that comes from the farm where we get our tomatoes and one that comes from California, but the difference is it's out of this world.
Astronomical.
It's astronomical. There, you know, I can't stress enough. It's the flavor, the
You just
even the
know.
look.
You can.
just know.
Yeah.
You just know.
So this is now as this is sautéing all together at medium heat as well.
Yes.
And how long does that go for?
This is going to be about what at this stage here.
Yeah.
It would be about half an hour.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Low heat.
Yeah.
And then what we'll do is we'll add. Now we're going to add our tomatoes.
Yeah.
So just canned tomatoes, regular canned tomatoes. If at all possible,
Yeah.
try to use tomatoes that do not have oregano or other flavors in them. These ones here happen to have a little bit of basil. It won't affect it.
Okay.
But if you don't want to use whole canned tomatoes, you want to use a tomato sauce. Just try and find a neutral tomato sauce.
When you've been speaking with the local sort of producers and farmers and those guys, I mean, those guys and girls, I mean, it must be just the same sort of turmoil on how it's all.
I mean, you know, that's the thing. They're hurting as much as we are.
Not
You
just
know,
because the restaurants and the hospitality business isn't buying from them, but they've all also had to alter everything that
everything
they do,
they
right?
do, packaging. You know, one of the things before, you know, I used to be able to go and get a massive bag of something. Well, because of all the new rules, you can't.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah. You know, the packaging has to be different so that it's COVID friendly. You know, and just so there's less contact.
Yeah.
And yeah, there, you know, it's amazing when you think, you know, people think that just restaurants, you know, with the shutdown that has happened. But if you think all of the businesses behind restaurants, the linen company, the garbage company, the food, the veg suppliers, I mean, the list goes on and on and on and on.
Yeah.
It's not just restaurants that are affected by, you know,
closure.
our closure. It's all the people that are behind us that help us run, you know,
That's it.
from you know, booze to vegetables to,
Yeah.
you know, the mop heads on our mops. It's every level.
It's everything.
It's everything.
Yeah.
You know, and they are, you know, and I will say that, you know, we work very closely with our suppliers. They're very supportive. And so, you know, whenever we need something, they're right there with us, you know.
Amazing. Okay, so now this is at what point are you adding in the coconut milk. I assume
Right.
it doesn't go for too long. It doesn't
No.
sit for the 30 minutes as well.
I finish it with the coconut.
Okay, and so that'll, and then once you put the coconut milk in, it's gonna sit for how long?
Once the coconut goes in, that's it. It's just I don't need to reduce it at that point anymore. You've added the flavor of the coconut milk. Again, you could keep on cooking it. The flavors will concentrate and it'll get thicker.
Right, because the longer that you're cooking it, the thicker it's getting.
Exactly.
Right.
But we really don't need to.
Okay.
We absolutely don't need to. This actually could take another can of coconut milk.
I'm excited. I can't wait.
So this is now done, and I'll show you what this is. So this is because it would have to cook for another half an hour or whatever. This here is what the final product looks like.
Beautiful.
So this has all the flavor. It's been cooked down, and this is ready to serve. Not everybody has a rice. Most people cook with rice cookers nowadays.
Okay.
Not everybody has a rice cooker.
Right.
I don't have a rice cooker.
I don't either.
So
That's cool.
I'm going to show a quick way to do a rice pilau. So it's a baked rice.
Okay.
So what we're going to do is we're going to start with a little bit of oil.
Okay.
Here I have just some diced onions.
Okay.
We're going to sweat them out for a little bit.
So sauteing the onion again a little bit?
Yeah. Again, it's just to have the flavors develop a little bit
Sure.
and get the cooking process started. And then I'm going to add turmeric, mustard seed, and cumin. So these go in.
And those go in while you're sauteing the onion
Yes.
so that it all mixes together nice.
Exactly.
Beautiful.
So this is what it looks like when it's been sauteed.
Yep.
Now we're going to add our rice.
Okay.
So I do it by volume. So that's 1 liter of rice.
Okay.
And it's going to be to 1.5 liters of water.
Okay.
So now we're just going to.
So you mix it up with the dry rice?
Yeah. So now I'm just basically coating all the rice. Since there is a little bit of oil, the oil helps coat each grain of rice so that when you bake it, it doesn't all stick together. It'll be nice. You can see the individual grains.
Okay.
So then that's just going to go back on. I'm going to get some water here.
Yeah, amazing. I mean, you must be super excited to get to that point where the restaurants are finally rolling hard and you have a full line behind the
I can hardly wait. I'm one of those chefs. I like, but we use the term being in the shits, and I like that. I like that feeling of, the sound of the kitchen.
The noise.
The energy.
Sure.
It's what I live for. It's one of the reasons.
And everybody in the industry seems to. If you're in this industry, you probably need that energy.
Yeah, and I would say most of us as chefs, we do. We like that energy. We need it. So all I'm going to do here is I'm just going to bring this up to a quick boil.
Okay.
And then we're going to turn it off. In most restaurants, we don't have that many lids for our pots. We don't use them.
Right.
So I'm going to do a little trick. This is called a cartouche. It's just instead of a lid, if you have parchment paper at home, you basically just take the size of your pot, cut it, then you have a nice round circle
Cool.
that can go down on top.
Amazing, and that acts as a lid.
It acts as a lid. It's going to keep all that moisture in there for us.
Okay.
So then when this would come up to a boil, we'd put our lid on, and we'd...
So the rice and the mixture comes up to a boil?
Yeah.
And then the lid goes on, which is our parchment paper lid, or a lid like you said at home, because most people at home have lids.
Yeah, and then here is the one that I prepared this morning. As you can see, comes off, and as you can see, the rice grains they're all individual. They're not all stuck together. So now we have our two main components. We have our curry base, we have our rice.
Yeah.
Now we would go to actually making, to plating the curry. Here's the veg I prepared for our curry today.
Okay.
So
beautiful.
Green peas, chickpeas for your protein, and cauliflower. And again, none of these items here are expensive by any means.
No, and if anybody needs, they can even buy most of that stuff. Well,
you can buy all of these like canned or frozen.
Yeah.
Especially now.
Yeah, exactly.
And in the summer, obviously, we use local. And again,
seasonal.
And seasonal.
So
zucchini, whatever the veg is, red peppers, yellow peppers, turnips. It's whatever's local and what's in season.
Love it.
Okay, so the next step is we're going to take our curry base here. Again, you don't need to put any oil or...
No, because you have everything you need within the curry,
So just about, this amount here.
Yeah.
put in.
Yeah.
We'll turn that
You
on.
warm
to
that
low
up
heat.
at a medium.
Medium heat, yep.
Again, everything's pretty much at medium.
Yeah.
There's no need for anything too high, otherwise you're burning.
Exactly. Exactly. Now, you don't have to do this at home for speed, for the camera and so on.
Yeah.
I blanch these, which means I just, cook them in boiling salted water for about a minute and a half. Took them out, put them in an ice bath to stop the cooking process.
Right.
And that's for me for restaurant. That's what we do in restaurants.
Sure.
But at home, you don't need to do that. As you're heating this up, you could put in your raw cauliflower first.
Is that right?
Yeah. So the first one you'd put in is your cauliflower. It would take the longest to cook.
Right.
Chickpeas are already cooked. You just need to get them warm.
Right.
And the very last thing is the peas. They're already cooked. I mean, even a frozen pea, it takes 2 to 3 seconds. And you don't want them. One of the things that you want is when you add this in last, they'll stay green. If you cook, anything with chlorophyll long, they tend to go gray.
Okay.
But you want that nice green color to kind of pop out at you out of the dish, And
Very cool.
it makes a nice contrast for color.
Absolutely.
So here, this is just heating up.
Yeah. Very nice.
Now we're going to add our cauliflower.
Yeah. So that's good. So you've added in the cauliflower.
Add in the cauliflower.
Yeah.
Now we're going to add in our chickpeas.
This is your protein. There you go.
Okay, so
good.
Almost there.
Yeah.
Just going to have to do a little, obviously we do a little taste test every time we cook.
I see the smile.
Little bit of salt.
Perfect. And then we add in the.
And then we're adding the green peas.
Perfect. Done. There's your color. Beautiful.
There is the shot of that's your
dish.
That's the vegetarian Tikka masala.
Amazing. It looks beautiful. So now we're gonna put it on some rice and we're gonna try it, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm gonna set up some dishes for you. And again, one of the things that you can have fun with at home is, which I encourage people to do, is plating.
Amazing. So here we are. This is the dish put together. We got the rice on the side. We have the curry on the other. Now, this is what you were talking about as well. Is that
that's the raita? Yeah, that's
raita.
So it's yogurt, mint, and cucumber, and we add a touch of cayenne just to give it a little bit of spice.
Amazing. Well, I gotta try this after all that. Delicious. I love curry. So I love that we do a lot of stuff like that here too. And that you guys are, you're definitely trying to keep it as authentic as possible within sort of the atmosphere of what the pub's sort of menu and thematic is, right? So
yeah, and I mean this is a great, it's a great winter dish. It's hearty. You go out in the cold, you'll feel nice and warm.
No, there's no spice to it. Like what I mean by that, it's not hot.
No.
Like it's not going to burn your mouth.
No.
But people could also, if they had wanted to,
add chili.
Chili.
And that's the thing. Especially when we cook in the restaurant, we tend not to put a lot of chili in because once it's in, you can't take it out.
Right.
But we do have fresh chilies here. So if for a customer, if they ever ask for chili, we just give them a few fresh chilies on the side,
and they drop it in.
They put it in. So they can get that heat and that chili flavor.
And speaking of customers, how has the community been sort of with the Lion, with the pub? Have you seen like a large support of everybody?
I absolutely have. It's been amazing. We've done a lot of special projects over the pandemic, Thanksgiving, Christmas dinners. We did a Robbie Burns dinner. And the support from the community has been absolutely unbelievable.
Yeah.
We have a really loyal customer base, and they keep on. They come back and they really do support us. They find out how, some people were buying at Thanksgiving meals for out of town for friends of theirs that were here. That they knew were going to be eating alone. So it was
amazing. And then there's also there's a lot that that you guys do also give back into the community.
Oh, absolutely.
Right?
I mean, and that that's one of the big things that's about working for here at the Burgundy Lion and for the group is, at Christmas, New Year's, and Thanksgiving, for every meal bought, we matched it for Feed the Hen. We did, and now we're doing another one. Actually, next week we're going to be giving out about 300 meals.
Amazing.
To give back to the community. Because, as much as things are hard for us, for me, I still have a job. I'm still getting my income, where there's a lot of families out there who've been touched who aren't getting anything. and it's important to for us to support them and know that they're not alone in this scenario.
Have you been close contact with the staff, with the crew specifically, within the kitchen? Again, I know there's a community within a business, especially, sometimes front of the house, back of the house, that kind of thing. But have you been, close with the staff? Have you been speaking with them regularly? How's everybody's mental health? Like, how are they doing?
Absolutely. We every day we send we kind of post something on Facebook to everybody.
Yeah.
And I reach out regularly to all of the kitchen staff, and they'll come in from time to time just to just
check in with other humans.
Exactly, check in with other humans, and a few of them will just come by and volunteer to do some work here and there because they miss it,
Yeah.
and to have that kind of
have you seen that there's a sort of a closeness that has developed? Again, in general, it's always like, we've mentioned this before, when people are in this industry feel like they're always going to war when they go into like big days, big nights, that kind of thing. But have you noticed a closer relationship with the staff and the crew over this last? I mean, it's almost going to be a year at this point, right? So the year is coming in a weird anniversary, sort of in a week or two. And have you felt it yourself that there's more communication, maybe less communication, but is the dialogue amongst everybody changed?
I think it's changed. I mean, obviously it's changed because the dynamic has changed of what's going on. But I'd say for certain cooks, they have started to reach out more and talk more. And at the same time, I've encouraged those cooks who, because not everybody can come back. Some people live with people with, immune deficiencies and so on. So I can't, even though I want them back, for their health and the people that they live with, they can't come back to work. So we've encouraged them to kind of follow, not to leave the industry or anything like that, but to follow other projects, to keep themselves busy. Like Jessica,
physically, mentally,
like Jessica, who's one of the sous chefs here. She's been really getting into her art and doing artwork, and I think she's done one or two pieces for here even.
Yeah.
And just to let for me, it's also just letting the staff know that if they need anything, that we're here to support them.
No,
and
that's super important.
in any type of even if it's just a talk,
And that's the key. And I think just being open and allowing them to know that that's there is in itself something that's huge.
And with the letters that we post every day, I think it's also just letting them. And we mention, we always mention in the letters to staff that we're thinking about them, and I think it's important for them to know that even though there's one or two people I haven't seen in a year, that we're still thinking about them, that they still have a home here, that as soon as things get better, that we'll get them back in here. And,
that's it, and
we'll go to war again.
Go to war again. First of all, this is fantastic. And then one last question: are there some practices, some best practices that the organization, that the pub has been doing, specifically kitchen related and food related, that you're going to want to continue on even when you're at half capacity and full capacity? Have you learned some things that you're just like,
absolutely,
this is absolutely what we're going to be bringing forward?
I think one of the big things that we have done is the the box sets that we've been doing. Mm-hmm. I think that's going to be something, because even when we do, none of us know what's going to happen when we open. We might only be able to open for 50% capacity for a year,
right?
Which doesn't really help.
The model.
It's not exactly.
Right.
So, doing special meals and special packages has been a really big thing for us.
Yeah.
Doing things like this is also, and then is also to start doing like an épicerie shop. Some of our sauces that we do here. Even doing like this curry base in a jar, ready to sell, so that, because not everybody is going to feel comfortable coming back to restaurants right away. That's something that we know. Like they if they don't have the vaccine yet or something like that, they won't feel comfortable coming back. So what we're doing is we're going to put in place things so that they can come here and still get the wonderful Burgundy Lion food, take it home, and heat it up for themselves.
However they see fit.
However they see fit.
That's amazing. Listen, Michel, Mish, this has been fantastic. Really appreciate it. Obviously, there's there's a special spot in this place and in you and in this location. But for Gold Talks and for the community at large, you know, it's important to keep the conversation going.
Absolutely.
And you know, just keep open to things and to constantly moving forward and keep a positive attitude even when there's sort of a bit of a beat down.
Yeah.
And hopefully it'll go. And hopefully people are going to enjoy doing this themselves at home. I mean, I'm taking this recipe to do it at home. So again, thank you very much.
Again, easy, and it's, you know, it's something that you can do with, you know, if you have kids at home, do it with them. Start showing them at a young age how to cook. And
totally right. The sooner the better, no matter what the mess. You just got to get over that idea that it's just not going to work out, right?
And you know what? Sometimes it won't work out. Even, you know, at the level that I cook at, things happen. It's, you know, it doesn't mean that you failed. You just got to pick yourself up and try it again and experiment with it. You know, try different flavors that you like. Might not always work, but nothing ventured, nothing gained.
Right. Love it. Perfect way to end.
Yeah.
Cheers, man.
Cheers.